Hi all, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to kind of do just a quick um, introduction to session state in Streamlit. And session state is very important because you want to be able to allow the user to advance um, in pages and forms and not have to re-enter multiple um, fields. So if you actually have some type of wizard which you're working through and they have to re-enter data multiple times, the same data multiple times, it's going to become extremely frustrating for the user. So I want to kind of quickly kind of show you this, but session state itself is not new. So session state, in this sense, is not new. It was not, created for Streamlit application by any means. Session state has existed, really since web page development started. So it's been around for a good number of years, but it was obviously, taken um, over into Streamlit applications to make sure that, even those types of applications that you're basically going to build out with, Python using AI mechanisms and tools have the correct input and retain that input when is actually required. So just to kind of give you an example, so instead of see session state is a per user per session storage dictionary that survives on reruns. So it behaves like a Python dictionary, but it's tied to the user's browser session. So you can sort of see that if I'm on a user session and I'm inputting data and that form gets cleared, it's going to be frustrating for me. So, you know, there's a number of things here that you can basically use it for, user inputs, multi-step forms, cached API results, authentication flags, UI state, chat apps, user workflows, um, storing intermediate results, and remembering UI state. So, this session state, when you actually kind of look at it, we've got a kind of small example here, which basically just kind of runs like a counter. So this is a session state demo, and it basically just has like a counter. So it has like a normal variable counter here. So if I click that button here, okay, you can sort of see that the value is actually gone onwards. If I click it again, you can actually sort of see that it actually hasn't increased. If I click it again, click it again, click, 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 it doesn't increase because basically what's actually happening here is that the page itself um, has no idea that this variable actually has to be maintained and updated when somebody kind of increments the normal counter. So it actually doesn't know to actually update this page. So that's the kind of point of session state, that if you look at a kind of session state variable here, which was sort of same as a type of a Python dict, you can actually sort of say the increment session counter. So this value starts at 0. So you're on your same page here and you'll sort of see there's no browser refresh or anything like that here. But if I kind of click that, you'll sort of see the increment. And if I increment, and if I increment, and if I increment, and if I increment, it just kind of continues to kind of, go up like that. And basically what's actually happening here is the difference between this is just a normal variable. So there's no session state being applied here. And in this one here, it's basically applying the session state. So it's remembering and considering the last value that this actually has. So when it became, 1, it knew, the page knew that it was actually 1. And then, it sort of said, okay, so if I increment it now, I know it's basically going to become a value of 2. And it kind of keeps doing that, and it just keeps, continuing on like that. But that is a basic kind of idea of session state, that you maintain the values that you've input. Now, one thing that you'd probably have to do is if I kind of stop that now and I kind of go in and I kind of run, let's say the wizard app, you'll sort of see there's a different test here. So if I kind of put in hello here, right? So imagine my name is hello here, and I go to next here, and you input, your age. Let's sort of say, you're something like 25, and you go to next. You can actually sort of see when I actually went to next, it remembered that my name was hello, and it now also kind of remembered that my age is actually 25, you know So if I'm going to go back and go back, I can actually sort of see that those values are actually still there. So hello is still there. And if I go through and sort of say, okay, so my age is 25, go through and go next. And if I sort of click on finish, you can sort of see the wizard has actually completed. Ideally, to the user here, you'd obviously sort of, output your results here, or whatever. You'd actually have all of your kind of forms here. But you can sort of see quite clearly that even in this multi-step wizard form, what it's doing is session state is actually remembering the variables that you've assigned the whole data, and it's remembering those data as you kind of move through the kind of clicks. So it's critically important, for session state. Again, it's not new to Streamlit apps, but because Streamlit apps are web pages built around the Python framework, it is important that you know and are able to use that. Okay, thank you.